Good morning guys, and welcome to another day in the life video. It's about 8:05 AM right now, and I've been working on adjusting my body clock to consistently wake up before 9 AM. So let's get the day started. Good morning. So it is currently, let me just double check, it's currently like 9:23 AM, and today we're going to be doing a day in the life video featuring the M4 MacBook Pro. And also be sure to hit that like and subscribe button so that we can get this channel over to 5k. So yeah, let's go make some breakfast. Going to go ahead and grab my MacBook real quick, but one thing I've noticed right away, it's a bit of a fingerprint magnet, so it'll definitely need that occasional wipe down. When opening it up, I love the smooth and sturdy mechanism Apple uses. It's just so satisfying. While having breakfast, I usually watch some YouTube videos of some fellow tech content creators. Now it's currently 10:45 AM and we're at 100% battery.
Not saying I'm the best at what I do, I'm just saying that it's me versus whoever wanna lose. Pick any one of the who's. I got two tools for new.
Okay, so I've just finished having breakfast right now, so it is about 11:36 AM. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm just going to see what I've got scheduled for the day, and today is pretty jam-packed. So yeah, let's get it started. My day is just getting started, and I'm going to put this laptop through my everyday workflow. So let's see how it holds up. First thing on the agenda is emails, so let's quickly get through those. I spent about 20 minutes going through emails and downloading some important documents. Once that was done, I was left with 99% battery. Alright, it's now 11:51 AM and we're still at 99% battery. But let's talk about the M4 MacBook Pro. First things first, there's literally no design change. It looks identical to its predecessor, featuring the same aluminium build that's both lightweight and rock solid. I still appreciate the front lip that makes opening the lid effortless, along with the Touch ID button for quick logins, but honestly at this point I really wish Apple would add Face ID by now. I opted for the 14-inch MacBook Pro, and it comes at 12.31 by 8.71 by 6.1 inches and weighing 3.4 pounds. The M4 MacBook Pro is fairly light for a pro level laptop, and I literally had no problem carrying it around in my backpack when traveling to Barcelona. On the left hand side we get the MagSafe 3 charging port, 2 Thunderbolt 4 ports and a 3.5mm headphone jack, which I'm so glad Apple have kept. On the right hand side we have a HDMI port, 1 Thunderbolt 4 port and a memory card slot. Now these definitely come in clutch, especially for creators like myself. However, Thunderbolt 5 is only available on the M4 Pro and Max options. With the base model, we get a 70-watt USB-C power adapter and a textured cable which matches the color of the MacBook, which I think is a nice touch from Apple. So the time is now 12:30 PM. I actually ended up taking quite some time filming all the B-roll for this video, but then I realized I've actually missed out on some important emails that I totally forgot to get done. So I need to get back to those ASAP. While doing emails, I like to have Notion and Gmail both open at the same time, as I find that super efficient to get things done while also keeping everything well organized. The backlit keyboard feels great to type on as always, and as you can see it accommodates my fingers perfectly. I've always been a big fan of Apple keyboards, and their scissor mechanism just makes them super responsive when typing. Also, I don't know if it's just me, but I really love how this thing sounds.
Okay, now, so before we dive deeper into the video, let's talk about the specs on this thing.
I went with the space black version, and here are the specs of my base model MacBook Pro. It's got a 10-core CPU, a 10-core GPU, and 16GB of RAM, which I think is more than enough for getting work done. I also stuck with the standard 512GB of SSD storage. I decided not to upgrade the storage because honestly, spending an extra $200 didn't feel worth it. Instead, it's way more cost effective to get an external SSD for storing all my larger files. The total cost came up to $1,599, and in my opinion, it's absolutely worth it. Especially if this can improve your workflow, then I'd say it's definitely a solid investment overall. The liquid retina display on this MacBook is absolutely stunning. While there's no change from the M3 to the M4 MacBook Pro, you still get features like True Tone technology, a ProMotion variable refresh rate of up to 120Hz, and support for the P3 wide color gamut. I went with the standard screen instead of the nano textured display, and I'll explain my reasoning for that later in the video. Right now I'm indoors, and I have to say, it looks incredible. The colors are crisp and everything just looks great on the eyes. Watching high-res movies and videos on this device look absolutely incredible. The colors are sharp, the blacks are well balanced, and everything just pops out to give that really immersive experience. Thanks to its backlit mini LED, this display is able to deliver a 1,000,000:1 contrast ratio and brightness levels of up to 1000 nits sustained and 1600 nits peak for HDR content, which is insanely bright. Now this is indoors.
Alright, so I want to show you guys what this thing actually looks like in bright outdoor conditions. So I'm just going to go upstairs to one of the terraces that we have up here just to see what it actually looks like. So let's go.
Winning is problematic. People like you more when you working towards something, not when you have it. Way less support from my peers in recent years as I get it.
The weather looks absolutely amazing here, so I can't complain. And it's also the perfect conditions to see how the standard display will hold up.
Okay, so right now it's literally as bright as it can get, and it's going to be a great test for this one. I mean, it's the standard screen, so I'm going to be expecting a lot of glare. But yeah, let's see how it does. Okay, so I feel like there's like literally no going around this thing. Like you can actually see the glare. But yeah, we're rolling on full brightness right now, and this is bright outdoor conditions in the sun, and yeah, it's super annoying. Point is, if you're going to be working outside a lot, you're better off spending that extra $150 for that nano textured display.
As expected, glare is a significant issue with the standard display, and at times it's nearly impossible to work on. When tilting the screen, you can see the glare clearly. I even tried finalizing the script for next Sunday's video outside in direct sunlight with the M4 MacBook Pro, and the glare was just unbearable. And keep in mind, I was sitting under the shade. So in other words, any form of bright light will impact your viewing experience, especially if you're like me and use dark mode. Now while the display offers 1000 nits of brightness, which is the same as the M3 MacBook Pro, it is still fantastic, but the standard screen simply can't handle bright outdoor conditions. I did consider the nano texture display, but to me it felt like having a screen protector on, which dulled the colors and made them less sharp and vibrant. Since I rarely work outdoors, I decided to stick with the standard screen. Essentially, the nano textured display is better at reducing reflections, but it comes at a cost of slightly less vibrant colors. On the other hand, the standard display delivers richer colors and deeper blacks, but struggles more with glare. Now, I'm not sure if the camera is doing it any justice right now, but it's definitely difficult to see the screen. So to sum it up, if you work primarily in bright outdoor conditions, I'd highly recommend spending that extra $150 for the nano textured display. It significantly reduces glare and reflections, something the standard display really struggles with. While I was outside, I took the opportunity to review my script for next Sunday's YouTube video. I updated my calendar and synced everything with my iPhone to make sure I was on track. After that, I went back inside to work on the script because it needed to be finalized today. I did try working on the balcony, and it wasn't too bad since the sun was setting. Honestly, the display is incredible, but a part of me wishes Apple would introduce an OLED option for the MacBook Pro. After all, the 2024 iPad Pro has a stunning tandem OLED panel, so I don't see why Apple haven't decided to include that in the M4 MacBook Pro this year. Also, you can connect dual external displays while keeping the laptop open, which is super convenient for multitasking. It started getting dark, so I'm going to finish the script indoors, and I pretty much ended up wrapping everything up by around 6:30 PM. Since I'm in Barcelona, I'm going to try find a ticket for the Atletico Madrid game and see what's available. If you guys didn't know, I'm a huge Barcelona fan. So being in Barcelona, it only made sense to get tickets for tomorrow's game. It was a super last minute decision, but luckily there were still some tickets available. I now have to jump on a FaceTime call to finalize everything for tomorrow's video. But before I do so, let's talk about the front facing camera, which now features a 12 megapixel center stage camera, up from the 1080p camera on the M3 MacBook Pro. And I noticed that step up in image quality when I took some photos using the Photo Booth app. On FaceTime calls, the image quality is absolutely crisp. Desk view also works really well for video calls. Just make sure you're on a flat surface and it will definitely work well. Although occasionally there is a slight bit of image distortion, but honestly, it's not a huge issue. It's actually a great feature, especially if you need to quickly present some paperwork. With AI, I feel like Apple are still behind its contenders like Samsung, but I'm sure Apple will definitely catch up. Also, combining Apple Intelligence with this powerhouse will definitely improve your workflow. I've been using it for my scripts, and it has come in clutch with helping me summarize large pieces of text and making everything more concise and straight to the point. It's now 8 minutes past 7, and I've used up almost half of the battery.
And what I basically want to do is push this M4 MacBook Pro and see how well it holds up in terms of performance. So yeah, let's go. And don't worry, I won't be showcasing any performance scores on this thing, simply because I feel like it's not an accurate representation of what this thing can really do in real life day-to-day situations.
But now, first things first. As you can see, I've got Google Chrome open with multiple tabs running at once. I also have a movie playing on Amazon Prime and a YouTube video running, and everything is working flawlessly with no lag whatsoever. To top it off, I've also got several desktop tabs open at the same time to really push it to its limits. Also, I'm not one to play music out loud when I'm outdoors, but the high fidelity 6-speaker sound system with force cancelling woofers sound absolutely amazing. So I would usually edit all my photos on Lightroom, so let's get that opened up. Even while everything is running in the background, editing in Lightroom was flawless. There was no lag whatsoever. I spent about 30 minutes making sure everything was all good, and it literally was super smooth throughout, and it never felt like I had anything running in the background. I then went ahead and opened up Photoshop while Lightroom was still running in the background. I really want to see how it will hold up. I'm currently making some final touches for a thumbnail for one of my videos, and as you can see, it's still running smoothly. Bear in mind, I've got a bunch of tabs open all at the same time. Also, I must add this once again. This thing is a bit of a fingerprint magnet. Now let's push it a little further. So I've got a 4K video for this Sunday to edit on Premiere Pro. So I'm going to go ahead and have it edited all while having everything running in the background with multiple desktops open. And as expected, I did end up running out of memory whilst I was scrubbing through the video, but I just closed it and continued with the edit. But here's the thing, it never crashed out on me, considering I had Photoshop, Lightroom and Google Chrome running in the background, and they were using up the majority of the memory. But the M4 managed to handle it very well.
Okay, so I've just finished the edit and there was no lag whatsoever. So now I'm going to see how long this is going to take to export. And the time now is 9:21 PM and I'm on 24% battery. So let's see how that's going to hold on.
So this video is about 10 minutes long. So let's time it and see how long this is going to take to fully export.
Alright, so I'm currently exporting a 10-minute and 38 seconds video right over here. It's saying that we've got 10 minutes left and our battery is on 20%.
So yeah, let's see if this thing can really hold on. The video has just finished exporting and the time is now 9:38 PM and we are left with 11% battery. Now I'm going to go ahead and transfer some of the files that were filmed today, and the transfer speeds on this thing are amazing. And keep in mind, this is only Thunderbolt 4. If you opt for the M4 Max or M4 Pro, you'll get Thunderbolt 5, which can transfer files at speeds of up to 120 gigabytes per second. Wi-Fi connectivity is not so bad, although I do wish Apple had gone with Wi-Fi 7 instead of Wi-Fi 6 connectivity. Alright, so I ended the day with 8% battery left and the time was around 9:45 PM. Now considering that Apple claims the M4 MacBook Pro can last up to 24 hours when video streaming and 16 hours when web browsing. But based on my experience, I started my day at around 11 AM and wrapped things up by 9:45 PM, and it was still holding strong with some battery left. So put that into perspective. Also, it's worth considering I was constantly pushing it to its limits with demanding tasks and using maximum brightness. Now, based on my experience, I've got to give props to Apple because the battery on it is amazing, considering how it was able to push through those tasks without any issues, all while still having 8% battery left at the end. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and wrap things up. It's actually 10 PM right now. I mean, this managed to get me through the whole day, and I was actually pushing it throughout the day non-stop. And yeah, I guess it's safe to say that this is an absolute beast of a device. So yeah, nothing else to say. If you guys do have any questions, let me know in the comments below. And yeah, until then, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take care.